27 standard cycles as a combat instructor in the Dominion forces, and this was, without question, the most ridiculous assignment of my career. Commander Krell Xanther, your objection is noted. Admiral Draz slid a data tablet across the polished obsidian table. Nevertheless, the demonstration will proceed as planned. I glared at the tablet. The arena schedule displayed prominently: exhibition match, elite soldier versus human specimen. My 4 nostrils flared in frustration. A child, Admiral? You've selected a human child? I tapped my clawed finger against the image. This isn't a demonstration. It's a slaughter. Draz's secondary eyes narrowed while his primary set remained fixed on me. The Council requires visible proof of our superiority. Humans are the newest species added to the Dominion Registry. Their resistance was unexpected. Political elements question our military capabilities. I snorted, a habit I'd unfortunately picked up from observing humans. So we're going to have Vorks, our most decorated arena fighter, pummel a youngster? Very impressive. Careful, Commander. Draz's voice dropped dangerously. The Council has spoken. Your task is supervision, not commentary. I signed the authorization with my thumb claw. Fine. But when the human ambassadors protest, remember I said this was stupid. After Draz left, I studied the humans' file. Jamie Bennett, age 12 by Earth standards. Captured during the Frontier Colony incursion 3 months ago. Unremarkable physical attributes by human standards, which meant pathetically fragile by Dominion metrics. The arena preparation area hummed with activity when I arrived. Technicians adjusted environmental controls to Earth normal conditions, a courtesy that would make zero difference to the outcome. Vorks was stretching in the corner, his massive exoskeletal frame gleaming under the lights. Standing nearly 3 meters tall, with reinforced combat plating and integrated plasma weaponry, he was the pride of our combat divisions. Commander. Vorks saluted. Come to witness my glorious victory? Try not to kill the human, Vorks, I said. It's bad diplomacy. He laughed, a grinding sound like metal against stone. I'll be gentle. Perhaps just remove a limb? I sighed. Just disable. No dismemberment. That's when I saw the human. Jamie stood by the entrance, surprisingly calm, escorted by 2 guards who towered over the small figure. The child wore standard prison coveralls, looking around with curious eyes rather than fear. That's my opponent? Vorks whispered incredulously. Why waste my talents? My sentiment exactly, but I maintained professionalism. Orders are orders. I approached Jamie, expecting tears or pleading. Instead, the human child looked up at me with unsettling composure. Are you in charge here? Jamie asked, voice steady. I'm Commander Krell Xanther, supervisor for this demonstration. Jamie nodded. Nice to meet you. When do we start? I blinked all 4 eyes asynchronously, a sign of confusion in my species. You understand what's happening? This is combat. The human smiled. Actually smiled. I understand perfectly, Commander. Something in that smile made my scales prickle. Before I could respond, the arena announcer's voice boomed overhead. To your positions. The Council's demonstration begins in 2 minutes. As Jamie walked toward the arena entrance, the child looked back over one shoulder. It'll be educational, Commander. For everyone. Watching that small human figure, I couldn't shake the feeling that this demonstration might not proceed as the Dominion expected. Not at all. The Dominion's first encounter with humans was supposed to be routine. Our intelligence suggested a pre-FTL civilization with minimal defensive capabilities. When our invasion fleet approached Earth, military command expected capitulation within days. Instead, we got a bloody nose. They just wouldn't surrender, General Basker had complained during our pre-demonstration briefing. Every time we adapted our tactics, they changed theirs. Most species follow predictable patterns in warfare. Humans? They're chaos incarnate. The statistics were embarrassing. 7 Dominion warships lost. Over 3,000 elite troops killed. All against a species that had barely achieved spaceflight. They shouldn't have been able to target our shield frequencies, Basker had growled. They shouldn't have been able to hack our communication systems. Their technology is centuries behind ours. But they had done exactly that. The Dominion eventually overwhelmed Earth through sheer numerical advantage, but the victory felt hollow. Now, to save face, the Council needed public demonstrations of superiority. Which is why I was watching Jamie Bennett from the observation deck as arena attendants explained the rules. The human child nodded occasionally, eyes constantly scanning, absorbing details. Something's not right, I muttered to myself. My aide, Lieutenant Traz, glanced up from his monitoring station. Commander? This human. Look at the posture. The awareness. That's not a frightened child. Traz checked his data screen. The file says the specimen was captured on Proxima Colony. Frontier world. I frowned, tapping commands into my console. Show me the full capture report. The document appeared, and I felt my scales tighten. No wonder. Frontier children are different. Earthborn humans are soft. Colony kids? They're raised in hostile environments from birth. The report contained something else, a medical scan that made my blood run cold. Neural implants? I leaned closer. The human has neural implants? Traz peered at the scan. Looks like adaptive interface technology. Basic stuff, Commander. Basic? I barked a laugh. There's nothing basic about human neural tech. Their approach is unique. Unlike Dominion neural implants, which were standardized and programmed for specific functions, human neural technology adapted to the individual. It learned. It evolved. Most concerning of all, human implants talk to each other, sharing improvements across their network. I grabbed my communicator. Delay the match. I need to speak with Admiral Draz immediately. Too late, Commander, Traz pointed at the arena. They've started. Below, the massive form of Vorks entered from one side of the arena, armor gleaming, weapons powered. From the opposite entrance came Jamie, looking impossibly small. The crowd roared with anticipation of an easy spectacle. But I had seen the neural scan. I knew what we were actually facing, not just a human child, but a human nervous system enhanced with technology that could analyze combat patterns and adapt in real time. This isn't going to be the demonstration the Council expects, I whispered. As if hearing me, Jamie looked up toward our observation post and smiled that unervingly confident smile again. The arena gong sounded. The demonstration had begun. The arena erupted with cheers as Vorks activated his combat systems. Servos whirred, weapons hummed to life, and targeting systems locked onto the small human standing calmly at the opposite end. This will be quick, Vorks's amplified voice boomed across the arena. Perhaps you'd like to surrender now, little mammal? Jamie's response wasn't surrender. Instead, the child performed a series of quick stretches, then assumed what I recognized as a standard human combat stance. Is this some kind of joke? Traz snickered beside me. I wasn't laughing. Something about the precise way Jamie moved bothered me. Vorks charged, the ground trembling beneath his armored bulk. His first attack was a standard intimidation move, a sweeping arm strike designed to knock opponents flat without causing serious injury. Jamie wasn't there when the blow landed. With startling speed, the child had rolled under Vorks's swing, popping up behind our champion and tapping a specific point on his rear armor joint. What was that? Traz leaned forward. I knew exactly what it was. The human just identified Vork's primary mobility weakness. That's the connection point between his central processor and lower actuators. Impossible. That design flaw is classified information. I watched as Jamie systematically avoided Vork's increasingly frustrated attacks. Each dodge was more efficient than the last. Each counter-movement targeted a different vulnerability. The neural implants, I whispered. They're mapping Vork's combat patterns. But how? Human reflexes shouldn't be fast enough. They aren't. But predictive algorithms are. I pointed at Jamie's movements. Look at the timing. The human is moving before Vork's commits to each attack. The crowd's cheers had faded to confused murmurs. This wasn't the spectacle they'd expected. The turning point came when Vork's, growing desperate, activated his auxiliary plasma cannon. The weapon emerged from his shoulder housing with a mechanical whine. Jamie smiled. Commander? Traz's voice held a note of panic. The human just accessed the arena's environmental controls from that console panel. I watched in disbelief as Jamie led Vork's toward a maintenance hatch, dodging plasma blasts that seemed to always miss by millimeters. The human's not psychic, I realized aloud. Those neural implants are interfacing with our systems. They're predicting the targeting calculations. With remarkable precision, Jamie had maneuvered Vork's beneath a coolant pipe. As the soldier prepared another blast, the child slammed a hand against the emergency release valve. Supercooled liquid rained down, instantly freezing Vork's exposed weapon systems and locking his joints. That's... Traz couldn't finish his sentence. Tactically brilliant, I completed for him, watching as our champion toppled like a statue, immobilized but unharmed. The arena fell silent. In the quiet, Jamie looked directly at the council's viewing box and offered a respectful bow. I believe, I said slowly, we've greatly underestimated humans. The detention center's interview room felt inappropriately small for such a significant conversation. Jamie sat across from me, hands folded neatly on the table, while two nervous guards fidgeted by the door. You could have beaten Vork's in the first 30 seconds, I stated flatly. Why drag it out? Jamie smiled. Educational purposes, Commander Krell. Your council needed to see. See what, exactly? That throwing technology at a problem isn't always the solution. Vork's had superior strength, weapons, armor. Everything except adaptability. I tapped my claw against the table. How did you interface with our systems? Your neural implants shouldn't be compatible. They weren't, initially. Jamie shrugged. But they learned. That simple phrase chilled me more than any battle threat. They learned. Our intelligence report said humans had barely achieved spaceflight when we encountered your species, I said carefully. Yet your resistance was extraordinary. We only needed one ship, Commander. I blinked all four eyes simultaneously. What? To understand your technology. We only needed to capture one ship. Jamie leaned forward. Everything else, we reverse-engineered. Your weapons, your shields, your communication systems. Once we had the basic principles, we improved them. Impossible. The technical gap is too large. Jamie's laugh was disconcertingly adult. That's what makes humans dangerous, Commander. We don't just learn. We share what we learn. When one human figures something out, soon all humans know it. I considered the implications. The Dominion believes numerical advantage eventually secured our victory. Did it? Jamie's expression shifted subtly. Or did we simply move to a different phase? The realization struck me like a physical blow. You've been appearing weaker than you are. Smart of you to notice. Jamie nodded appreciatively. Most Dominion officials haven't. They see what they expect to see, a primitive species easily subdued. But why reveal this to me now? Because you're different. You question. You observe. You adapt. Jamie's eyes held mine. The Dominion needs adaptable thinkers if it hopes to survive what's coming. And what exactly is coming? I asked, dreading the answer. Partnership, hopefully. Humans don't want conquest. We want exchange. Knowledge. Growth. Jamie stood, surprisingly dignified for one so young. But if forced to choose between submission and survival, well. You've seen what one human child can do against your best warrior. As guards escorted Jamie out, I remained seated, mind racing. This hadn't been a random exhibition match. It had been a carefully crafted message. I activated my comm unit. Connect me with Admiral Draz. Priority 1. Channel open, Commander, came the response. I took a deep breath. Admiral, about the humans. We need to completely reassess our approach. We're not dealing with a conquered species. Explain, Commander. Sir, I believe we're dealing with the most dangerous thing in the galaxy, intelligent beings who know exactly how powerful they really are, and are patient enough to wait for the right moment to show us.